I'm Anza. I'm from Ridgeway High School, and this summer I went to Louisville, Kentucky. They do say Louisville with like 2 syllables, and if you say more syllables than that, or if you say Louisville, then they'll yell at you. So those are the first things that I learned. But I would spend a lot of time in Kentucky, and when I was in Kentucky, I worked at the Fraser Rehab Institute, which deals primarily with spinal cord rehabilitation, so working with injuries to the spinal cord. And boop. Oh wait, that was too many slides. We're gonna go back. Okay. Got too excited. So this is a little diagram of the spinal cord. The injuries that I was working with were primarily from the thoracic vertebrae down, because those injuries tend to affect your lower extremities. And so we worked a lot with people who couldn't stand, who were in wheelchairs. Most people that I worked with had some control of their arms and hands. So we were primarily focusing on rehab of their low extremities. And so what we were looking at was how activity-based therapy, so being able to move, can simulate basically what your brain does and hopefully make you be able to move again, which is super duper interesting. So how I did that, we have this thing called a stand frame, and it's basically a giant metal walker. So we take people and we will physically stand them up, and obviously they don't have control of their legs most times, so we actually have to physically hold them. So this is me. I'm supporting the hips, so we have a trainer on the hips, we got a trainer supporting the trunk, and then 2 trainers supporting each knee. And so we're physically giving support so that way they can actually stand up and be able to do that on their own. Then what we did to simulate what the brain does is we ran stimulation to each of their muscles. So something super cool that I got to do was learn all about lower leg anatomy. So I learned where to put all the electrodes. And so this would be a lower leg. This would be like 2 gastroc pads and a TA pad. And what we do is we run stimulation through the muscles. So we do what your brain would do. So we actually trigger those muscles when you're standing to make it seem like your body's functioning as normal. And what we see over time is that people are actually able to recover some of this function. And I actually got to see that happen. I got to see this is actually a picture. One of our participants was able, oops, I clicked the clicker, okay, was able to bring his foot to the ground in 7 weeks, which is something that's super crazy to see progress like that when you're there. So that was something super awesome that I did, and that was primarily the studies that I focused on. This is another thing I got to see. So some of the research at Fraser, we actually will step people. So we put them in a harness, which is a body weight support system. There's me trying it out. It was super weird. But we put them on a treadmill and we actually step them. So we'll physically move their legs for them so they can simulate that, being able to walk or being able to run. And over time we find that people can actually move again. Once they're in the stand frame, I should mention this, we did squats, and we would do heel-toe shifts and then shifts side to side, and so doing those activities is what helped recover function over time. And then around the office, so I was on the 9th floor. I was the youngest intern there by far. Everyone else was older than me. And I worked a lot with the technicians. So if you imagine a surgeon, you've got a head surgeon and then you've got surgical nurses supporting them. I basically did the job of a surgical nurse. So I was there to work directly with physical therapists and support them and do all the things like placing the electrodes and getting people water. And I actually got to do everything that people there get paid to do. So one thing I will say about this internship is that in the medical profession, it's really hard to find hands-on internships because it is the medical profession and you've got HIPAA and all sorts of stuff. But I got to do everything that people here get paid to do. And I even got certified as an activity-based technician is what they call it. So if you're looking for something super hands-on and you're really into physical therapy or even medical stuff, maybe the spinal cord, then I would totally recommend this internship. It was awesome. So here's me hanging out in the office. There's my best friend, Elizabeth. She was my mentor, and she helped me out with everything and taught me how to do things. Then there's me trying the stimulation. It was super interesting. I turned it on, and my hand curled up, and I couldn't control it, and that was bizarre. And then there's my desk, which is really just the printer desk, and I shoved it out of the way and spent so much time here. I wrote 10 college essays this summer in my downtime, which was kind of fun. And yeah, so here's basically where I worked. So there's my nice selfie. It's really huge on the screen, so I apologize. You can see all my pimples and stuff. But this is my outfit that I wore every single day. I wore a gray polo and khakis, and I looked so good. I took the bus to work every day, so I commuted 4 miles downtown. It was awesome. I got to take the bus every day for free, which was extra good. This is my house. I lived with a host family. They had 3 boys that were 1, 3, and 5. We ate at 5:30 every single day, and I would have to eat a second meal at 9 o'clock at night because we ate so early. And there's Fraser. I keep clicking the wrong buttons. Okay, we're gonna go back. Okay, so there's Fraser. I worked up on the 9th floor, got a super cool view of the city every single day. It was awesome. And for fun, I had another intern there with me. Her name is Elena. She's going to be presenting with Telluride. If you guys want to see her presentation, she's amazing. We got ice cream every single day. We would walk down the street, so there's us doing our daily thing. We went to a cat cafe and paid $12 to play with cats. That was amazing. There's my host family. There's me and Elena, and then our 2 parents, and then the kids are like on the bench. They're probably fighting, and that's probably why they're not in this photo. I went to 2 different music festivals and saw like 50 different bands, which was super fun in my free time. And I went to a bunch of farmers markets because we lived in a really cool part of town. So the host situation for me, luckily, was really, really awesome. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.